You see what it did here? It broke out this line automatically, put the nozzle in automatically into the vessel, and now all I need to do is apply some information to it. So let's put our cursor on it. You can see that the tag is question marks, question, 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 and then it's coming from unassigned. In other words, it has no idea where it's coming from at this point, but it does know that it's going to vessel 102. So let's connect these up. I'm going to go back to our first sheet. I'm going to go down to my non-engineering items and place an off-page connector. I'm just going to pick the end point of that line, and now I want to connect that to the next line. So I'm going to connect. I know that that next line is on 102, so I'm going to use select it from the list and create a new connector in that drawing. Here's my drawing. I'm on 102 at the moment. I'll pick the endpoint, and now I'm getting a message telling me that it has updated both drawings and it's ready to continue. So let's take a look. We made the connection, so let's go over to 102 and see how that connection is working out for us. If we zoom into the all-page connector, you can see it's telling me it's going to sheet 101. It's also transferred that cooling water supply service. And I'll just put my cursor on here, and you can see now there's my 3-inch line, stainless steel 150, carbon or cooling water supply coming from tank 100 to vessel 102. So there's intelligence built into that line now. Let's place another tank. I've got just a standard tank. I'm going to put right here, and we'll call this tank 350. And I want to place some annotation on that. I want to put a vessel info tag on it, and we'll put it right underneath. So there's tank 350. It's ready to have something done with it. It needs to have something connected to it. We'll go and we'll pick a pump as well. We'll put a pump here. And let's call this pump 360. And we'll put that pump information in. Now I just want to connect these lines, or this equipment up. So I'm going to come off of this pump, come over, and I'm just going to pick somewhere on this tank. It didn't really route the line very well, so I'm going to undo that, and I'm going to do it again and route it more the way I want to route it. So we'll join into that, put our cursor on it. You can see it's coming from pump 360 to tank 350, and now I'm ready to assign some tag information. 6-inch line, stainless 150, cooling water 22449, and again we'll assign the pipeline tag information. Now the nice thing about this is, if I decide that this tank needs to move or this pump needs to move, I'm going to grab the grip and I want to move it here. You can see how it modifies the lines for me. And I also want to take this and put it in a different location, so I'll put it right above. So the line is connected to the equipment. It knows where the equipment is, and it moves with it. Alright, so let's look at something else with P&ID. Let's look at the data manager. Let's take a look at how all this information is being stored, not only graphically on the drawing file, but also in a database that you can export and import with through Microsoft Excel, and create reports from those reports also being able to be exported out to Excel. Right now you can look at your project data as the project data as in every file in the project. So whether you have 2 files in the project or 2,000 files, you're going to be looking at all the equipment in that project, regardless of the sheet number that it's on or the drawing number. So we can look at just individual tanks or just individual dome roof tanks. We can look at hand valves, or break it down even further and just look at gate valves, where they're located, tag information on those and sizes. Keep going down. Reducers, concentric, eccentric reducers, instrumentation, inline instruments, and our lines, primary line segments. Here's the line segments for both drawings that I've got in this project. Now, this is the entire project view. You can also go to a current drawing view, which will show you just the lines on this one drawing that you're in currently. So here's the lines available to me, or that are currently in this drawing, size, spec, and you can scroll through what it's going to, what it's coming from. Great information to generate reports from. Not only is it accurate here, but it's accurate on the drawing. So let's take a look at this. I want to tag this line. I'm not sure exactly where on this drawing this line is, but I want to tag it. So I'm going to take this and just kind of drag it out. And you can see how it's got the rubber band there. It's letting me know where that line is, and it's right here. So if I need to, I can drop that tag. I'll just drop it there. That's letting me know that that was that line. If there's columns in here that you don't want to see, or that don't have any information in them, like for instance this design pressure, let's see if there's anything all the way down. Well, what we can do is just kind of close those columns up, hide the blank columns so that we don't see them. That'll give you less columns to have to look at. If there's no information there, there's no reason to see it, right? You can also export these out. So let's go, let's look at our current drawing data, and I want to go to the pumps, and I have 2 pumps in here, pump 101F and 101G. I also have a pump 360 that I just placed down here. Well, I want to make some changes to this. First, I need to locate them, so I'm going to pick this. And you can see it zooms me in and highlights the pump. It zoomed me back out and then over to here, and it highlighted the pump. Now I want to export this out so that another engineer who makes these types of changes can make those changes in Excel. So I'm going to export the pumps, and we'll just export this out to my desktop so it's easy to find. And then we'll go find that one. There's pumps. And we'll let this open up in Excel. This might take just a minute or so. While we're waiting on that, if we go over to our, well, here it comes. Here's our Excel spreadsheet. Here's our pumps category, pumps tab. I want to make some changes in here. I want to make this F a D, and I want to make this G an E. I also want to change the description. So reflux pump. You can see one has pump, the other one has pumps. So I'm going to back this out because the S shouldn't be there. And maybe this needs to be 600 instead of 800. We'll save these changes, close Excel. Now it's gone from the engineer that makes those changes, it's going back to the designer or the engineer that's working in the actual drawing. So I want to import those back in. They've showed up in an email. I'm going to go and find them. I saved it out to the desktop. I'm going to go find it, and we'll bring it back in. So here's pumps.